Welcome to Janko TV. Are you in the mood for some thrills and chills? Well, we've got you covered with the best horror movies currently available on Prime. So grab your popcorn, turn off the lights, and get ready for a spine-tingling good time. Number 1. The Purge. The birth of the franchise, The Purge comes from writer-director James DeMonaco, who captures the heart-racing anxiety of his clever and horrific concept. Exploring the nature of humanity and the realities of societal decay, The Purge exposes these themes through gore and scary movie tropes. Broaching interesting philosophical questions through a crude narrative more invested in shock value than intellectual discussion, The Purge is set in a world where, during a 12-hour period permitting any and all crime, a murderous gang syndicate holds a wealthy family hostage. Starring Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey, The Purge is a gruesome film with heavy ideas expressed through bloody visuals. Number 2. Run, Sweetheart, Run. Run, Sweetheart, Run is directed by Shauna Fest, co-writer with Keith Joseph Adkins and Kelly Terrell, and follows Sherry as a young woman who finds herself on a date gone wrong. Co-starring Louis Bake as the sadistic puppet master of the horrific adventure, Run, Sweetheart, Run explores the terrifying realities of modern dating through overly exaggerated, viciously gory scenes. Also featuring talent like Clark Gregg and Shora Agdashlu, Run, Sweetheart, Run is an ideal watch for horror fans, oozing with excitement while lightly layering in a dark message. Number 3. My Best Friend's Exorcism. An homage to classic horror of the 80s, My Best Friend's Exorcism is a sharp new horror comedy starring young talents Elsie Fisher and Amaya Miller. As the title suggests, the film showcases two best friends, Abby and Gretchen, who are both struggling through high school. Things get even more complicated when, after a visit to a creepy cabin in the woods and some Ouija board playing, Gretchen starts feeling a little off. Supernatural things abound, and it's up to Abby to save her. As silly as it is scary, My Best Friend's Exorcism is a fun watch if you're in the mood for something that's a little spooky and a lot of fun. Number 4. Candyman. Co-written by Jordan Peele, who has cleverly and deliberately shifted away from his comedic reputation by building a solid catalog of profound and suspenseful thrillers, comes a sequel to the 1992 classic of the same name. Candyman is a continuation of the story, rooted in a horrific narrative stemming from America's racist history. Starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Teyonah Parris, Candyman expands upon the original mythology of the property, taking place in the same city where the journey began while reinvigorating it for a contemporary audience. Along with Peele, director and co-writer Nia DaCosta creates a modern horror film with a thought-provoking story. Number 5. Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall pits a gang of lusty teens against a trio of deadly, malfunctioning mall security robots. Locked in the high-tech shopping mall overnight with the laser-eyed murderbots rolling up behind their every move, the teens arm up and fight back to the quintessential 80s electronic score. Wacky and unafraid to be more fun than scary, Chopping Mall is a delightful B-movie where people say things like "I'm just not used to be chased around a mall in the middle of the night by killer robots" with a straight face. The whole film has that cheeky self-awareness, including some none-too-subtle genre references. It even features one of Eating Roll duo Paul Bartle and Mary Woronow's 17 film cameos as the Blands. Funny and endlessly entertaining, Chopping Mall is a perfect throwback midnight movie. Number 6. The Vast of Night. The indie sci-fi film The Vast of Night is hands down one of the best films of 2020, and a wonderful surprise. Set in 1950s New Mexico, the story basically follows a switchboard operator and a radio DJ investigating a strange sound coming through the radio during a big high school basketball game. That premise could go wrong any number of ways, but at every turn Vast of Night pleasantly surprises. The wildly compelling screenplay is full of delightfully crackerjack dialogue that evokes screwball comedies of the 40s and 50s, while Andrew Patterson's direction favors long takes and unique shots that lay the intrigue on thick as the story plays out entirely in real time. The Vast of Night is a film you won't soon forget, announcing its writers, director, and cast as new talents to watch. Number 7. Vivarium. Lorcan Finnegan's Vivarium is dark as hell and a walloping bummer, but it's a very good bad time. Imogen Poots and Jesse Eisenberg star as a couple on the hunt for their first home and wind up trapped in a surreal suburban neighborhood from which there's no escaping. No matter how many streets they drive through, how many fences they hop, they just can't get out. Then the nightmare baby shows up. On the surface, Vivarium is an effective portrait of the horrors of getting trapped in a white picket fence life you never wanted, but the scarier, much more effective undercurrent comes from the way the film embraces the cruel indifference of nature's life cycles and the helplessness of being stuck in them. Number 8. Resolution. The feature debut from Spring and the endless filmmaking duo Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, Resolution is a slow burn, surprisingly expansive existential thriller that builds a whole universe from the confines of a remote cabin. Peter Solella and Vinnie Curran co-star as two old friends who head for a getaway at said cabin, but what one doesn't know is that the other plans to keep them there by whatever means necessary until he breaks his friend of his drug habit. That character drama provides the solid foundation from which Benson's script builds a Lovecraftian terror when an unknown, unseen force starts sending them messages and toying with them, further trapping them in their dingy little pit of despair. Number 9. Suspiria. Call Me By Your Name director Luca Guadagnino brings all his sensuality and artistry to 2018's Suspiria. More of a sibling film to Dario Argento's iconic horror classic than an outright remake, Suspiria depicts its powerful magical darkness through the context of generational strife and fascist power play, embedding the supernatural and the psychological to extraordinary results. Suspiria is a phantasmagoria of violence, magic, and movement that feels pulled from the old ways of some unknown ritual. Art, dance, horror, and the human spirit come out to play in Guadagnino's coven, conjuring the uncanny and a feeling of true witchcraft that's as stirring and profound as it is occasionally terrifying. Give yourself to the dance, indeed, because Guadagnino's film gives you no other choice. Number 10. The Greasy Strangler. Decidedly not for everyone, The Greasy Strangler is a blast, and I'm no bullshit artist. The feature film debut from Jim Hosking has incited a lot of pearl-clutching and gasps of horror since it debuted at Sundance earlier this year, and it's easy enough to see why. It's absurd, unapologetic, and indecent by just about every conventional standard, but the beauty of The Greasy Strangler is the fact that it doesn't care about conventional standards at all. Forget about photoshopping and narrative guidebooks, and all the little safety boxes that have to be checked off when a film tries to be a 4-quadrant picture. The Greasy Strangler feels like Grindhouse incarnate, a midnight movie sprung from the very soul of midnight movies to make you cringe and guffaw and quote one-liners you'll probably never be able to get out of your head. And that's a wrap on today's video on the best horror movies on Prime right now. We hope you found some new movies to add to your watch list. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video from Jenko TV. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.